ever for a minute think we could get her to play at the level that we needed.
That takes a lifetime of commitment, obviously.
Well, Billie Jean also approached tennis the way she approached life. She was a bull in a china shop, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She's a serve volleyer as another, as an athlete itself. But what I love about this movie, and you guys have captured it perfectly, is the backstories. And explain to people about what those backstories are on Billie Jean and also Bobby.
Yeah, well, that was why we wanted to make this movie, because people are familiar with the match, but they don't know what was happening in the personal lives. And in particular, Billie Jean was having a real upheaval in her marriage. She was, 8 years into her marriage to Larry King, and she was having her first relationship with a woman. And it was at a time when all the eyes of the world were on her for this match. So it was a very tense time.
As well as, she had just formed the Women's Tennis Association and fighting for equal pay. And, she just had so much on her plate and so much on the line. And I think that's what really impressed us about her story, is that with all of that, she still could conjure the strength to beat Bobby Riggs, just what that would take and the kind of focus. It's so impressive.
I know she did not want to be brought into a circus-like atmosphere, but she was almost brought into this because of what happened with Margaret Court, the massacre of Margaret Court on Mother's Day. And I thought that most people don't understand or appreciate that. And I think, obviously, Billie really felt that she had to take that step. How important was that?
That was it. We wanted to show that this American hero, Billie Jean, didn't just, it didn't come easily, and that sometimes, the real acts of courage come, in unexpected moments, and you just have to, be there when you're needed. And when Margaret Court lost, there was no choice but to step in and have someone beat Bobby, and she was really the only one in a position to do it. But the weird thing is that, at the time, no one really knew who was going to win that match. I mean, Bobby was a great player, and he just didn't have a good day. We talked a lot with Lorne, his trainer, and we talked about how maybe on another day he might have, put up a better fight. But Billie Jean really made her point.
Let me give you some insight on maybe why Bobby did not play, because I had a chance after that match. Maybe it was a couple of years, in which I did a series called Sports Behind Bars for television for the television station here in San Francisco, and I won an Emmy for it. And one of the people that I interviewed out at the prison was Bobby Riggs's doubles partner. And I asked him, I said, why are you in prison? He said, because Bobby and I used to go to Las Vegas and hustle for money. We'd make $100,000, $200,000 a weekend. And he said, when it stopped, he said, I couldn't change my lifestyle. So I asked him also, I said, what do you think happened in that match? He said, that is the first time, Ron, that I have ever seen Bobby Riggs psyched out.
Wow.
That's interesting. Wow.
Oh, I want to listen to that. That's so interesting because, the whole issue of did he throw the matches come up in some interviews, and Lorne obviously, vehemently denies it, but also, he was offered by Jerry Perenchio to play Chris Everett for $1 million if he beat Billie Jean. So, he saw this as a new kind of, career move. He was going to just keep playing women tennis players, and but I think Billie Jean really put a stop to that.
Yeah, one of the things I think the reason is the fact that if you take a look, Chris Everett, she has that image of being, just perfect. But Billie Jean is an attacker. She'll go right at it. And he was not set for that type of thing. And when things got out of control, his partner said to me, he said that he did not know how to adapt it because he only played the game with junk, in a sense. He did not have the power shots that Billie Jean had as well. So
she ran him all over the court, and he just,
he was I think he was a little out of shape.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I mean, when you watch it, you just see he's so spent, and it's only like the second set, and he's just, and he would.